Laura, I am Shannon Bream in Washington, and we begin with a Fox News alert. Former FBI Director James Comey making multiple media appearances today at the very same time the Department of Justice he used to work for, sending the media 15 pages of redacted memos he wrote about his meetings with President Trump. Meanwhile, the Justice Department's Inspector General has sent a criminal referral about fired FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe to federal prosecutors here in Washington. We've got team coverage tonight. Chad Pergram digging deep into the Comey memos for us tonight. Chief National Correspondent Ed Henry is following Mueller, Comey, Cohen, McCabe, and more. All the intrigue for us tonight here in the nation's capital. All right, Ed, so late breaking, several memos. Anything jump out to you that may actually help the president?
Yeah, it's interesting. You've got 7 Comey memos, about 15 pages released. This was at the urging of House Republicans, as you know. And there are some details here that seem to help the president in the sense that these are summaries, the memos, of James Comey's either meetings in 2017 or phone calls with the President of the United States. And there's one that does jump out from March of 2017, where James Comey says that the president kept telling him not to shut down the Russia collusion investigation, but to try and go public with the idea that the president was not personally being investigated. And in fact, at one point, Comey, by his own account, you can see, says that the president said to me, look, if there's any satellite, any advisor, any ancillary person connected to my campaign who was involved with Russian collusion, that should be investigated. Go for it. But I just want you to tell the public that I'm not being personally investigated. This is something we've heard before, but the part where the president is saying, lift the cloud over me, but if somebody did something wrong, go for it. It shows that at least by James Comey's telling, the president was not trying to obstruct justice. And by the way, nowhere in these memos is there any new information suggesting that there was collusion with the Russians, Chad.
All right, so Ed, there's another Comey memo that seems ironic now, given what happened to Andrew McCabe today. Tell us about that.
Yeah, this is another one where if you look at the quote, I'm looking down to try to find it, where basically in January of 2017, they had a meeting. Remember, they had this dinner in the green room. We've heard about this before because remember, Comey leaked some of these memos, which Republican Charles Grassley says has classified information. And we know that there's some classified information because the versions we have are redacted. They're blacked out because there's sensitive information in here. And yet James Comey not just put the memos together with classified information, but leaked some of them out. And here's the key part. In trying to explain, the context is Comey trying to explain why he thinks he should stay on as FBI director as he and the president discuss it over dinner in the green room at the White House. Comey says, quote, I added that I was reliable in one way, but not in the way political people sometimes use the term. I explained he could count on me to always tell him the truth. I said, I don't do sneaky things. I don't leak. I don't do weasel moves. That Jim Comey memo saying I don't leak and the FBI doesn't leak comes on the same day that the Justice Department Inspector General, Shannon, has had a criminal referral go to the U.S. Attorney here in Washington for Andrew McCabe, Comey's number 2 at the FBI, for leaking information to the press against the rules at the FBI and then lying to investigators about it. And yet James Comey is saying in the memo, we didn't leak. We're not leakers. And yet this very same day, we're learning that McCabe is in criminal jeopardy. Now, McCabe's camp is telling us tonight that they think there will never be criminal charges brought by the U.S. Attorney and that he'll be vindicated. But he is in criminal jeopardy tonight for leaking and lying, Shannon.
Okay, so what about Rod Rosenstein? What are you learning about details about what he may have told the president in the Oval Office last Thursday with respect, we think, to the Michael Cohen investigation?
Yeah, well, last Thursday we knew that there was a meeting between the Deputy Attorney General, the president, and the Oval Office. We didn't have all the details. Tonight, it's breaking through that, yes, they talked about the Mueller probe, which Rosenstein oversees, as well as Michael Cohen. And those raids of his office and home. And what we're learning is that Rod Rosenstein, when asked by the president, said, you are not the target, Mr. President, of the Michael Cohen investigation. That follows what we heard last month when we learned that Rosenstein had suggested to the president that he is not the target of the Mueller probe. And that, in fact, Mueller's own team had told the president's lawyers that. Why is it?